Hi everyone, my name is Ehsan, and in this video I'm going to show you how to submit your paper. And if we go through the list of the videos that I have created so far, this is video number 26. So far you have written your paper, you have written your cover letter based on the previous video, and you have selected which journal you are going to submit your paper. Everything is ready. Now this is the fun part. It's just submitting the documents that you have and just wait and see what happens. I'm gonna go through the slides and show you how this is done. First of all, you can be a grad student and still be the corresponding author. You might have your own idea, use your own computer, do your own simulation on your own idea and be the corresponding author. You don't have to be a PI, you don't have to have your own lab, but if you work in a lab and the idea comes from that lab and the funding helps you to figure out something, then you are not able to do that. That's just not ethical. And even though you might able to do that, if your PI figures it out, then he or she can retract your paper. So be very careful. And of course the PI can be the corresponding author. As I said, most of the time in the US, the corresponding author is the PI and is the last author in the paper. And the person who worked the most on this project is going to be the first author. So here I'm going to just show you one example, the process of submitting a paper to one journal. But it's going to be almost the same across the board. Every journal has a slightly different procedure, but if you know how this is done in one journal, it's going to be almost the same for the other journals. So here I'm going to show you the process to submit a paper to Spectrochemica Acta Part A, and step by step I'm going to show you how this is done. So the first step is to create an account here. Most of the time is pretty self-explanatory. So you just write your name, first name, last name, and your email address. And then you go to the next page, you use the title. Here, I think once I made this, I wasn't a doctor yet, so these are screenshots from the before me getting my PhD. And here you can see you can put your email address and then the country. And this one is a very important question. Are you available to be a reviewer? If you want to pursue the, be a PI in the future, I would say keep this as a yes. They might recommend you to be a reviewer for a paper in the future, and you can choose what field you want to be a reviewer. So if you go to the section below, there is a part says areas of interest of or expertise. Then here you are going to choose a few keywords, and based off that, the editor for this journal is going to probably choose you if you select the right keywords. Then here, for example, I have chosen organic chemistry or synthesis. You can choose up to 8 in this case. And then you are going to go to the next and then continue. And then it says check your email for registration. So if I go to my email, then I'm going to get a link and I'm going to click on that. And then I can log into my account. So from here, if this is your first time you are logging in, it's going to ask you about diversity and inclusion. There are a couple of questions over here. Again, this is not for all the journals. Different journals have different policies. So here is a couple of questions that you can read and answer. I'm just going to go through them. It's going to ask you what's your origin and what race you are, and it's going to update that. And then here it's where you actually submit your manuscript. As you can see, there are 3 distinct sections over here. Here it says new submission, here is the revision, and here is once you complete, either get a rejection or when your paper gets published. So you are going to start from here, submit a new manuscript. here you can choose the full-length article or a short communication or a review. So these are the options you have there. You might also see some specific journals, like specific like issues. So these are like, let's say a journal has a broad scope. Sometimes in one of their issues, they are going to mark it as a special issue, and over there they are going to publish only on one specific topic. Let's say they publish about everything. Now we are going to just publish anything related to 2D NMR. So that would be one specific issue, and if you go to the website for that journal, they are going to tell you what are the scope for that specific issue. So most of the time here it's a full-length article. So we are going to go to the next step. Here they are going to ask you whether you have used AI or not, which is a hot topic these days. From here everything is pretty clear and obvious. So you are going to submit your manuscript, your cover letter, and if there is any other documents that you need to submit. And as I said before, it's a good idea to read the guide for authors for that specific journal, so you are not going to miss anything. So in this case, if I go to that section here, it tells me what I need to include in my manuscript when I submit that. So I'm going to read that, and probably I'm going to tweak my manuscript a little bit to adjust it to make sure I'm following their guideline. And here I'm just going to simply upload it over here. So you see here it says uploaded. And then I'm going to go to the next step, which is a cover letter. So again, I'm going to go to the guides for authors. I'm going to read that. We had a video about how to write the cover letter, but I'm going to read it anyway and make sure that I have touched all the items that they have mentioned here. And here I'm going to select the cover letter and I'm going to upload that as well over here. So far the manuscript is uploaded, the cover letter as well. Now the next step, I'm going to go to the so here is specific to this journal. It says a declaration of competing interest. So they have a file that I need to go through and mark a few items. What are the people that I have worked with? So they are going to make sure there is no conflict of interest. And then at the end, it's going to give me a file that I can download. So they're going to send a code to my email address. I'm going to type it in and they're going to give me that file. And I'm going to upload that. Again, this is specific to this journal. Different journals might have different guidelines, and I'm going to do that. So here now I have all the 3 files and it's just ready to go to the next step. So I'm going to proceed. Here it's going to ask me what category my manuscript is about. This is for the journals that have a broad scope. Here they're going to ask me which scope my manuscript falls into, so they know which editor to send it to. So here I'm going to go to the next step. Here is the place that I can suggest my reviewers. I explained to you how to choose the reviewers for your paper. So you need to also go to the guides for author and read if they have any suggestions over here. Make sure you are following that. And then I'm gonna just put their name, the first name, last name, and email address. These 3 are the minimum things that you need to enter someone as your reviewer. Again, you do not have to coordinate with these people. You can just find based on the papers that they have published, their name, first name, last name, and email address as the corresponding author for that paper. It's there. You can just copy paste it, and I have suggested these 3 people over here. And then I'm going to go to the next step. There are some questions about my manuscript and my research. So again, this is going to be different from journals, so you are going to answer those. And then we are going to go to the last step, which is if you have any comments for the publication office, you can write it down over here. And here you are going to add a few items like the full title of your manuscript and then the abstract. So I'm going to just do a copy paste from my manuscript over here, and then you go to the keyword add them, the authors of this paper, and then if there is anyone else other than you, you can add it over here. And lastly, you are going to add the funding sources for your research. So I'm going to add that, and we are pretty much done. It's pretty simple, and if you are going to do this enough, you are going to get the hang of it. So the first time that you submit a paper, it's going to be a little bit challenging, I would say, but over time you understand which journal needs what requirements. So over here I clicked out, so that might happen, and when that happens, your paper now goes over here in the incomplete submissions. So if I click over there, you are going to see that everything is ready to submit. So if I click on this action links, then I can view submission, so I can see a PDF of everything that I have attached, and I can edit it, or I can approve or remove my submission. So here I would say definitely click on the view submission. It's gonna create a PDF file that includes everything that you have uploaded, and you can read it, make sure it's right. If it is not, then you can edit and go back to the steps that I just explained and change those. And if everything looks good to you, you can click on the approve submission. Once you click that, it's out of your hand. You can't do anything else. It goes directly to the journal, and they are gonna, you know, before that, sorry, I forgot to say that. Before submitting that, you need to click this I accept for the ethics in publishing, and once you do that, you can approve submission. Once that is done, it's in their court, and they are gonna read it, and probably they are gonna get back to you if there is any issue. And in the following videos, I'm gonna explain what's the behind the scene, what happens when you submit your paper, what are the steps that usually people are not aware of. So that would be another video. So here I clicked on the PDF and I read it, and then now let's say I clicked out, then now it goes to the submission waiting for author approval. So as you can see, we started from this submit a new manuscript, so it goes all the way to here. If they send it back to you, it's gonna go over here. So this is just gonna help you to see in which step your manuscript is. So with that, this is the end of this video. In the next video, I'm gonna explain what happens once you submit your paper. What's all the steps behind the scene that happens that you may not be aware of. I'll see you in the next video.